Ruh-roh! Going into the VIP room at your boy Zero.
And I am Mash.
That's right, God, it's been a while, hasn't it, Mash?
Yeah, you could say that. You know, we play these every once in a while. But off the top of your head, what do you think was the last thing we did?
Oh, I know what the last thing we did was. We did a whole bunch of domination battles. For those who have only played the original Cyber Sleuth and not Hacker's Memory, it's a new form of battling where you have to take over small spaces, sort of like what do you call those? Strategy games where you have to like defeat the enemy, take over their like part of the land, their base, and then keep going and take over more bases and shit.
Like an RTS, real-time strategy.
Yeah, real-time strategy. But you know, it's a little dumbed down. It was fun though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We also talked about games. I don't know if you remember that conversation where we talked about how sometimes you can go from like Europe or the US and go to Japan and find a rare game over there. And like they're unlimited printing and find it for stupid cheap. Meanwhile, in the US, you know.
That's so funny that you actually remember all that stuff because I didn't even remember that the last episode we did was number 24.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're on episode 25. Way to go. Yeah, thanks, Smash.
Yeah, I'm catching up.
Shit, yeah. I have no idea what the next mission is, so I think we should actually go ahead and sit down at the PC and figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and do that, Mash. Yeah.
You go ahead and do that because I've just been kind of coasting while you're playing this game. Now, I think that in the beginning of the playthrough, we kind of switched from back and forth a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like having played a JRPG, like maybe what we're like close to 6 or 7 hours, maybe 10 hours. I think the one person that's been doing the gaming the whole time probably is just better off continuing. You know, like I'm not really gonna have good decision making like you are because you've been conditioned to this at this point. And yeah.
I totally hear you, especially when it comes to action RPGs. Like we've been playing. Oh, damn it! What's the name of it? Ys. We've been playing Ys.
Yeah. Well, that's a little different story because I beat that game like 3 or 4 times, and I'm a huge Ys fanatic. So to me, it's just second nature. Like I play that shit all day. In fact, we'll be playing it later.
Indeed, we shall. We keep having trouble finding time for these, but we will finish these games. Mark our words.
Hey, while we're talking shop here about the channel a little bit, why don't we could talk a little bit about why we've been so busy, because we've had a couple of other video projects due that got in the way of like our regular Let's Play recordings. Huh.
Yeah, quite honestly. So around this time last year, Mash and I got in contact with an indie game collective called Gumbo, or Gumbo NYC. I think it's just Gumbo. Honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, Mash, please, because your boy is brain drained. Anyway, so we got in contact with them through Play NYC. We visited their facility. We met some other developers. We even went to an event or two. They're really awesome people, and we decided, hey, maybe these indie developers need a video, some sort of shout out. Maybe the group as a collective themselves. And I unfortunately could not make it to the second recording, but Mash powered through it and was able to get us all the footage. And we...
Hold on, time out. You can make it to either recording. There was 2, remember?
Yeah, you did the first one, and we were supposed to do the second one together. Sorry, I probably should have explained it like that. But yeah, like Mash said, absolutely, he did the first one. I couldn't make the first one. The second one, we were supposed to go together, and I got sick, like at the last minute, and could not join him. So that's unfortunate. So this project couldn't have happened without Mash powering through and getting all that footage.
Yeah.
We worked together on the design and the whole sort of feel for it. And we actually cut up a lot of the footage together. A lot of that footage was cut up together. I put it together in a nice little package, and it's on our channel now. If you guys want to go see it, all of the interviews from Gumbo and all their indie developers.
Yeah, make sure to check those out because we worked really hard on those. But also, it was really cool to do that because since we've started to do remote recordings, or even maybe a little bit before then, just because there's so much distance between us where we physically can't meet up. We can only meet up maybe like once a month. At this point, like even less frequently. I always kind of toyed with the idea of possibly some kind of setup where we both can edit things remotely. So I do some editing from my end and you do some editing from your end, and even have some sessions where we like edit together. We've really, since the beginning of this channel, almost done zero editing together. It's always just you edit your stuff and then I edit my stuff, and then we upload all of that. In the beginning it was just you doing all the work, but then eventually I started to edit too. But it's just like, never did we edit together. So that was also like a cool experiment of just what it's like to be like this creative video editor and then bouncing ideas off another creative video editor in real time. So I enjoyed that process too. I know that's not as interesting for the people, but that was pretty cool and unique for us.
I mean, I gotta be honest, it was actually quite nice because here's the thing. I like the way you edit videos, Vash. I'm not here to stroke your ego or anything, but honestly, I feel that my form of doing stuff is kind of rigid and yours is just much more loose. And I feel like that's a good compliment to like both of our styles. So as things were being put together, I kind of got the look together. You sort of got the feel together, especially with the music. I think being able to work together, like you said, bounce ideas off of each other and really try to hone in and try to get that feel right really does help when it comes to like creative projects. I love working in groups. Everyone's their own worst critic, let's be honest. So having someone else there tell me like, no, this is fine. You're doing fine. You don't overthink it. It's pretty good.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, we do like a very, very small like microcosm version of that, which is we have a group chat, and like actually this happened today. I came up with a random idea, I pitched it to you, and you're like, let's go with that idea, and that idea will be in a future episode. And it's like, that's kind of like working together, but this is so much more like on another level that it almost becomes like we're working as one unit. And yeah, you're right. My editing style is not like your editing style. We both have our own styles. We both have different areas of expertise, different backgrounds. We notice things that the other doesn't notice. It's almost like a yin and yang kind of thing going over there. So, I liked it a lot. I even like bringing over like a cool laptop to either your house or maybe you to my house or something like that, and us both editing at the same time and like kind of working off of that. Be like a fun LAN party, but for video editing. I'm sure lots of people have like thought of that before, but we've never certainly done it. So I was excited about that, and that was one of the things that we've done. Like we got sidetracked by so many different videos. Of course, we had some events pop up, and when events come up, we like to make videos of them. I'm currently eyeing like a hawk upcoming events that we're doing, what kind of content we could do from upcoming events. But we did get to go to New York Comic Con, and we will have some content from New York Comic Con coming up. We already had a short from it, but we'll have a more in-depth video, perhaps two, coming up later. So yeah, we just got like stacked. And and my Daytona videos as well for the cosplay videos. I forgot about that too.
Oh, indeed, dude, you worked on that costume like freaking crazy. That second video you put up, dude, I'm fucking amazed. I gotta be 100% honest. I'm completely amazed at the work you put into it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, when I get like a creative itch, like I go all in. I go really like crazy trying to make sure that it goes from beginning finish and I actually get through the project and I try to do everything the way I want it. The suit came out great. There's a couple things that I want to go back and like improve a little bit, but the problem is it was just so time consuming. So if you watch that video, you can actually see a huge time lapse. Or really it's more of a hyperlapse because it's not like pictures, stills like taken out. It's just one long video like crunched up. But you can see a hyperlapse of me putting doing all the patchwork to the suit. That was 20 hours of work, or approximately 20 hours of work. And that's probably to date like the most work I've ever done on any kind of like hyperlapse related video. You know, like I don't think I've done anything longer than that. Usually when we do a hyperlapse, it's like we set the camera down for an hour and we call it a day. Maybe sometimes a little bit more. But this time it was like I had to find 3 or 4 hours a night where I could do some patchwork. I got the camera out, I filmed the whole thing, and then I would do it again like for a couple of days. And eventually the suit was just done. And yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I hope other people liked it. You know, I just this project kind of just I stumbled upon it, and I'm also really happy with how it came out. Yeah, we'll link a lot of these videos in the description as well. But
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be at the top right. You guys just have to look out for those little tags so you can click them, watch them if you're interested. Seriously, go watch Mash work on that suit. And of course, if you're interested in indie devs and inside look into them, you want to watch those interviews as well.
and you know what? It's already November 1st. Mariah Carey is tweeting about all I want for Christmas. You know,
She has been unfrozen from her
yes.
stasis frozen sleep.
Not to worry, people. Come January 1st, she'll be locked away in the crypt for another 11 months. But for now, we're at this end of the year, so we're also going to be working on some Game of the Year content as well. And you know, I love the Game of the Year video. I'm glad that we started doing this. I'm glad that we never really skipped a year. It's nice to kind of see how everyone like finishes each year with these are the games I like, these are the games that, you know, didn't like. And I've been putting in some work. I think I have a couple of good things to say about some of my favorite games. Some of the games that it didn't interest me that much, and some games that even disappointed me for this year. So definitely stay tuned for that. Usually we do it a little bit late. We do a little bit like towards the end of January, maybe even February sometimes, but you can expect that we'll be working on that in the next couple months as well.
Oh, absolutely. And it just as a preview to that, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
Yeah, when it comes to gaming, for me, it's not been that good this year. Not that there aren't any good games, it's just I'm having more and more of a difficult time finding time to play games, especially since my home setup isn't necessarily the most comfortable setup. I mean, you got, like, this is no secret, guys. We're playing this on PS4, on my PS4 Pro. And most of the new games that I really want to play are on PS5, which I do have, is just not in my room. And I don't have the space in this room to have it.
Right.
Yeah, so
they made that thing too big, man.
They really did.
They overdid it.
No, I mean, look, and I understand the reasoning why they did it that way. First of all, it looks fucking weird. You get used to it. If you really want to change the plates, you get the dark plates, which make it look way better, in my opinion. I'm about to buy those freaking dark plates from D-Brand, if I'm being 100% honest. They have a transparent orange, and you know me with that transparent orange. Anyway, so there's that. And then the reason why it's so big is to fit in that fat cooling system that's necessary to keep that thing from overheating and dying. Because let's not forget, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 had huge issues with cooling themselves. The Xbox 360 more than the PS3. And the last thing Microsoft...
Just open it up and move to Antarctica, you know? Just play it out in the ice.
You telling Sony to do that, or the players to do that?
The players. No, you know what? These plates look really good. I didn't even know about this, but you're right. It looks way better when you change the plate.
And not only that, if you notice, the original PS5 plates don't actually have vents to let the air come in from the sides. It only comes in from the slits above. So some people are saying that the dark plates might actually be better for your system long term because air can come in from multiple sides.
Wow. I can't believe they wouldn't have just thought of doing that or had just done that.
Well, you also have to understand Japanese mentality is way different than Western mentality. For them, well, this is one thing I do like about Sony. They think about factor. How does it work? How can we get this thing working as best as we could? And then let's try to get it into a form that is at least somewhat interesting, that'll get some people talking, but will still keep the system running. I believe they did that way better with the PS4, because the PS5 literally just looks like Seto Kaiba in console form, or some weird ass fucking Wi-Fi router. But whatever. They did what they did. The system at the very least runs well, and the one I have doesn't really, it's not that loud. So they at least got it down to a science when it came to the PS5, if I'm being honest. Now, if it only weren't that damn expensive.
No, you're absolutely right. I can't wait to get one day. I'm sure I'll eventually get it, but at this point, I've kind of been more transitioning over to PC gaming because all of my race sim stuff is way better on PC. Like, I love my Gran Turismo, but I could definitely do way more with Assetto Corsa than I ever could with Gran Turismo, and iRacing is about as legit as racing sims go, so unfortunately, that stuff is way better on PC, and then just other games I have on PC are like becoming a little easier for me. It's almost like, you know, it's really messed up to say, but it's almost like by making the PS5 so bulky, they've in turn made it less appealing for me naturally to buy it or to want to have it. To the point where it's like, I already have this PC, you know, if anything, I could just get a more stronger PC. I'm still going to need a PC. And instead, if I wanted to get a PS5, I'd have to look for space to put it. And, you know, I'm still not going to have as much options as PC. So I've never felt this, like, I guess, I don't want to say nihilistic or apathetic. I've never really felt like this disinterested in a new console generation before, because, you know, the PS PS3 was like my first big console. PS4, I obviously went over to it because I had a PS3. I like the look of the PS4. It wasn't like such a crazy big jump in terms of size. And then the PS5 comes out, and it's like, it feels like something that I need to hire a storage facility just so I can enjoy, you know? Like, I don't want to look for, I don't have that much space. I don't want to look for, like, throwing things out to get more space to put the PS5 in there. So I guess it kind of just like natural selectioned itself out of my life. And now, the only game that I know on the PS5 that I've actually wanted is available on PC, so I could just play it there instead. And that's Ratchet and Clank. So yeah, I can finally play that game as opposed to having to get the PS5.
I mean, I do recommend the Ratchet and Clank because I beat it recently.
Yeah.
Again, not a game from this year. I'm still catching up. But,
Mhm.
you know, it is indeed a fine game, and I had a lot of fun. The ending felt a little bit rushed, but whatever. Like, the whole experience up until then was, I don't want to say immaculate, but it was freaking great. It was fun. Like, there's some funny moments.
Mhm.
The new characters are adorable and lovable. Ratchet and Clank are the same goofballs they've always been. I couldn't complain.
Yeah. I mean, again, I do still want a PS5. I just feel like by process of some of the aspects about the PS5 and just some of the ways that like things have kind of changed for me, I don't really feel like I need to get a PS5, and that's why I'm not really rushing out. I'm sure by the time I do end up getting one, maybe the slim option will be a thing. And if they make a slim version of that, that would be awesome.
I mean, there is a slim version coming out later this year.
Oh, later this year already?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's still going to be a disc version and a discless version. The major difference is that you're gonna the discless version is still going to be cheaper than the version with the disc. However, you can opt in for a disc drive later. Like you can add a disc drive later now because they're going to sell it separately. And all you'd have to do is take out the bottom right portion of the console and then slap in the disc drive, and there you go. So you can go with the cheaper model at the beginning. However, you'll have to pay, I think, 60, 80 bucks for the drive. But if you just buy the drive and the system altogether, I think it's 500, and then without it, it's 450. So it's like you'll be paying a $30 premium just to do that. But the option is still good in my opinion. It's just a little weird how Sony just continues to do things a little bit backwards.
Yeah, Sony's been kind of backwards, to be honest. But that's interesting. Is it if you get the optional disc later, is it an external disc or does it go inside the PS5?
It literally attaches to the console. So it's not through USB. Like you literally, if you look it up, you'll see what I mean. Like you get to it, the new slimmer, and slim in quotations, by the way, because it's not that slim. It's kind of divided up in like a top portion and a bottom portion. And like the bottom right portion, like you can just take off the plate, take out and well, not even, yeah, you could take out the bottom right plate, take the drive, put it in there, and then put the plate, that comes with it to give it a space for the drive. And it looks almost seamless. Like it literally attaches to the console, like it has clips and shit, and you attach it and then you put a plate on it. It's way better if you're able to just see it. And where the fuck?
I think I'm looking at it. It's yeah, that's interesting then. I like that.
Again, it's not a horrible move. It's just, why charge people like 60, 80 when you buy it together? It's I think it's a 500. Like you guys, you don't need to do that.
That's what I'm saying though. What I like about something like this is it gives the player options and it doesn't lock one player type to any option that they'll maybe regret later on. Because like let's say you get a discless PS5, but then later you're like, oh, I got these discs and now I can't play them. The console is not going to work with this. Well, now they could just go out and get themselves a disc if they or a disc add-on, and I like that. I really like that. You know, give people the option to attach things to your system so that they can, you know, get more out of it later. I remember there was like this phone. There's this brand of phone where one of the ways that they marketed it was very hip, very like artsy, and the phone allowed you to get these mods that you can attach to, you know, change the lens on the camera, add like a stronger light, you know, add colors, add a printer so that you could print out things like a little Polaroid camera would, you know. That stuff needs to come back. I feel like now you just buy something and it's just the one thing it is forever. It's like, this is a discless PS5. That's all this is ever going to be. You can never use discs with this. You know, I like the idea of things being more interchangeable and stuff, like having different parts.
Dude, the whole modular phone idea was something my brother was actually raving about a couple years ago because it's something that he wanted. But it doesn't really seem to be a thing anymore. And the thing is, I love the idea of having a modular system, modular phone, modular watch, like things that you can just interchange and work with. The thing is, making things modular isn't necessarily the most profitable thing. And I would actually, people are going to hate me for this, but I think we have a lot to blame about this. Like a lot of this can be pinned to Apple and how they've been treating their shit, because practically nothing that they've released you've been able to go in and modify. You buy an Apple computer, you're not supposed to open that shit. You're not supposed to open that shit and upgrade the RAM or upgrade the graphics card.
Yep.
You're not supposed to do that. iPhone, what's that? You want to change the battery? Good luck opening it. When's the last time you've opened an iPhone?
Yeah. No.
Like, it's not that it's not...
right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you're right about that. And it's actually funny that you make that point because that phone that I was talking about, that shit died.
It did.
The marketing was interesting and unique. The phone was probably one of the most unique things on the market at the time, and it just didn't last. It had no staying power with the consumers, and it's like, damn, that's so unfortunate because it would have been great. Now we got phones that do all this crazy stuff. Like, I saw a friend of mine had a phone that was like this massive thing. It's almost like a tablet the size of the phone. Or I've seen a lot of phones that flip. It's a flat screen, but it flips open, kind of like an old flip phone.
Yep, I've seen that too.
They do some crazy stuff with technology now, and even phones. But yeah, I mean, modular is not really profitable, and as cool as it is, it really doesn't have a lot of staying power. You know.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just rambling. I was
go
just
ahead.
Gonna say, no, I was just gonna say that, like, think back to the 80s and the 90s, all the different accessories that you could get for your Nintendo, for your Sega, you know.
Oh God, I remember that. Like, especially the magnifying glass that would hover over the Game Boy. You remember that shit?
Yeah, that I had that with the little light. There was like bigger battery packs. There was all sorts of stuff for the Game Boy, but think of the Genesis. This is a classic example. Think of the Genesis. You could buy yourself a Genesis. You could put a Sega CD attachment on it and a 32X attachment on it.
I mean, look, the whole Sega CD thing, I'm not going to lie, I think was a great idea, but the 32X was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't a good idea.
And then also... Go ahead.
All right. And then also, not only was the 32X a horrible idea by itself, but they were also supposedly working on like a console that was going to be in between the Genesis and the Saturn called the Neptune.
Yep.
And it never happened.
Yeah, that was... Oh, God. So it was something that was in the works at Sega. And Sega of Japan was already going to release the Saturn at around the time the 32X was releasing in the States. And Sega of America was telling Sega of Japan, hey, everyone here already knows about the Saturn. If we release this shit 6 months before or like a year before, people are going to be upset. They're going to look at this as another cash grab. We don't think this is a good idea. Sega of America had no say. If Sega of Japan said do this, they had to. Yep. So not only did that already garner a lot of bad faith with the American market, then the Sega Saturn comes out, I think 6 months early in the States, when it was already supposed to come out like on Saturn Day, which was in September. And yeah, they released it in March or May or something like that, and only in like a handful of stores. And the stores got pissed. Some players got pissed. Games weren't ready for it. Like, bad decisions end up leading to bad results. And I mean, we only have to look at Sega to see how it all ended up.
And speaking of leading to things, I think we're about at the end of the episode.
Yeah, we pretty much are. Yeah. Right on the money too. Oh no, looks like our protagonist threw up on your character there, Mash. He threw up on Chitose. Keisuke, what the hell, man? Chitose's screams ringing in my ear. I recalled the horror I just faced. The massive table-sized rice omelet was placed in front of me and Yuko Kamashiro.
Well, if you don't have fun until you puke, are you really having fun? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I've not me personally been there, but I've definitely had some friends get to that point around me.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting to see.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's get through this text. But yes, Mash, any other thoughts you want to finish on with the whole rant about not having shit modular?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just again, it's to me, it almost seems like it's really futuristic to have something like that. You have this device or thing or whatever that you know you could just freely change things about it, adjust things by it, by like adding another piece to the whole contraption. But it just doesn't sit well with consumers. I think one problem part of it too is that a lot of people just lose those things. You know, you're gonna get this cool
Mm-hmm.
mod for your phone or your Game Boy or whatever, and then you're just gonna go and lose it and you can't find it, and then you paid this money for something that now either you gotta get pay more to get another one, or you just gotta not have it now and miss out on that feature. You know, I think that as boring as it is, as homogenous as it is in terms of design, having all of the features and aspects packed in from Go really makes it more digestible for most people. And you know, that's because most people are very simple and they just want to take a phone out of a box and have everything they need already there, good to go. But for some of us crazy creative types out there, you know, we like when companies do a little bit, take a bit of a risk and give us something more interesting to use, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Sounds like someone else is gonna puke. No.
This is a recap as to what happened between us talking to her. She wanted to try out this omelet rice dish, and then what happened after. Because the whole mission was to find some girl connected to Yugo that was going to get us an account to hack something. All right, Yuko Kamoshiro's account URL. That is what we needed. And we completed this mission in the episode, and now with another goddamn cutscene. Ruh-roh!
I'm sure the PlayStation 6 will be self-lacing.
Yo, Back to the Future lied to us. Where are my self-lacing shoes, man? 2015 was...
Back to the Future Day, right?
Yeah, I was actually in the theaters watching Back to the Future Part 2. The day that, you know, they supposedly traveled to the future.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Harambe dying was the problem.
Altered the timeline.
Gotta go back in time, man. We gotta save him. But yes. We'll get through this cutscene, everyone. I just want to make sure I get all the text available so that we can reference it, and you guys reference it too if you're playing. Because we do this for commentary and also, you know, so that people can follow along and figure out what to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Is this
I'm sure
it?
some people watch our episodes on mute and just look at the text, but that's fine. Oof.
Well, at least it isn't text. It's just them doing shit. They're all gonna try to connect to Kamashiro Enterprises. At least that's what I think is happening. God damn it, more text. Refreshing avatar information. Refresh failed.
The problem is
Logging
that you never know when it's about to be over. Like, you don't have like a little countdown to like, hey, the cutscene's gonna be over in this much time.
Not at all.
We could be stuck here forever.
Still the first time logging in. Oh, and we're using this girl's avatar because it's her account. That's interesting. Keisuke, what are you doing? You're grinning. You're thinking of something nasty, aren't you? Mash, how could you? What are you thinking? Okay.
I didn't do anything.
Erica's pointing at you.
Really? Or is she pointing at the audience?
I think she's
Why would
pointing at
she
the
be
audience.
pointing at the audience?
Because the audience has a dirty mind.
You know, I have a Digimon story to share, but because this cutscene could end at any possible moment,
Yeah,
I will save it for the next episode.
please do keep it in mind. Holy crap, this is starting to drive me nuts. Why are these cutscenes so long? Oh my god.
Oh boy. Well,
It doesn't end!
okay, I'm just gonna start listing off all of my my fingers in order. All right, let's go. Starting with the left pinky, and then the left ring finger. All right, Zero. I think we should probably wrap it up about here. Pick off in the next episode.
Yeah, you know what? I think you might have a point there, Mash. Guys, we'll continue. And it just ended. We literally said this before. There's no telling when this shit's gonna end. So,
boy.
yes, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure to slap the like button, mash the subscribe button, and let us know down below. Do you guys like modular stuff? Modular consoles, modular phones, modular watches? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know, and make sure to leave a slap on that like button, hit that subscribe button. No support just yet because we're not affiliated or anything, but maybe one day. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode to Super Gamers Play Through Digimon.
That's right. See you next time.
Bye.